Hey guys, welcome back to Travel with Wes. And today I want to tell you about one of the wildest and most heartwarming days I had in Iceland. It involves winding mountain roads with zero visibility, a tiny fishing village in remote Iceland, and hundreds of puffins waddling around like they own the place. Not to mention, we even had a close encounter with some really adorable baby lambs. If you've ever heard of Borgarfjardarhofn, it's probably for one of two reasons. The first being, the name is extremely difficult to pronounce, even by Icelandic standards. And second, it's in pretty much the complete opposite corner of Iceland where Reykjavik resides. If you drove it straight from the Icelandic capital, you'd be looking at about 9 hours worth of driving to get here. But if you're doing a trip around Ring Road, which I highly recommend you try at least once in your life, it's one of the most can't miss stops in all of Iceland due to its insane puffin viewing opportunities. But there are a few considerations you'll need to factor into your visit if you want to ensure the best possible opportunity for viewing puffins, because it's not guaranteed. And I'll be touching on those important tips in just a few minutes, but first let me give you an overview of what to expect when you arrive. You'll have to drive to the far end of town to reach the puffin colony, and eventually you'll reach a marked parking lot. When we visited, there was actually a mama sheep tending to her baby lambs just a few feet away from where we parked. Even though we came here for the puffins, it felt like they were posing for family photos, so before making our way down to the main event, I took the opportunity to capture some of these fluffy animals up close. Once that was dealt with, we started making our way out to the puffin colony. While there isn't an explicit fee to come here and visit the puffins, there is a link to a site where you can make a donation to support the conservation efforts here. There are some nice restroom facilities here, but we arrived later in the evening after they had already closed, which leads me to one of the two most important takeaways in this video. For starters, May through August is considered puffin season in Iceland, with June and July considered to be the best times for viewing them. You'll want to time your trip to Iceland within this window if you want to have the best opportunity to see them up close and active. Next up, it's important to visit areas like this around sunrise or sunset, when they tend to be the most active around their nests. That can be confusing advice considering the sun doesn't really ever set here during the summer. So for reference, we visited around 8 p.m. and we had an extremely active colony of puffins during our visit. The colony itself sits on a protected rock formation jutting up from the sea, but the footbridge takes you right up and into the middle of all the action. We were literally inches away from hundreds of adorable puffins which were just putting around their colony. If you're a photographer, you'll still want to bring your telephoto lens if you want to get some really incredible, super zoomed in shots of them in action. Having never done anything quite like this before, I wasn't sure what to expect, but the opportunity to visit their colony was one of the biggest highlights from our trip. Once you're done with the puffins, it's just a short walk back to the main parking area. I did see a campsite on the way through town for anyone else coming here in a camper van, but we wanted to get ahead on driving for the next day, so we headed down to Seyðisfjörður where we planned to camp for the evening. So, was the journey to see the puffins at Borgarfjardarhofn, Iceland worth it? Absolutely. It was one of those rare travel experiences that really lived up to the hype and then some. Considered one of the densest puffin colonies in Europe, it's great not just for people who consider themselves birdwatchers, but for all travelers. I hope you found this video highlighting my experience visiting the puffins at Borgarfjardarhofn helpful, and maybe I even inspired you to go see them firsthand for yourself. If you're planning a trip to Iceland for yourself, keep an eye out for my interactive Iceland map and downloadable itinerary, or consider joining me on one of my group trips that I lead around the world. There are links to those and other helpful Iceland trip planning resources in the video description below. Don't forget to like this video and subscribe to Travel with Wes for more helpful travel videos just like this. Until next time, safe travels and thanks for watching.